Good morning, Magda.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning, everyone. We are on for this is the top 10 week in review, top 10 stories of the week from Poland, business stories from the week. And we are starting off the countdown with number 10, which is the number 10th most important, and we'll finish with a number 1 most important. Number 10 story, Magda.
Number 10 story is about virtual body to be built by a virtual reality gaming company. Incuvo, a new Connect listed company specializing in VR games, obtained about 4 million zlotys in funding from the NCBIR program for research on the transfer of the human body to virtual reality. The company is currently working on its largest title, Green Hell VR. The title will go on sale in the first quarter of 2022.
Fascinating, very interesting, lots of applications for this, but their immediate application is taking the hands, which people are using for gaming, but using the rest of the body, arms and legs, and head and your eyes. So lots of interesting developments will come out of this. Of course, the imagination can go on and on about the potential for virtual body in VR gaming. So we'll watch this space, very interesting, great story. Number 9.
LOT Airlines burns through 3.6 billion zlotys state aid, asks for more. The public aid that LOT has received so far will not be sufficient, informed Rafał Milczarski, the company's president. As he added, he expects that further state funding will be necessary.
So look, all the airlines globally have taken money from either the government, the states, their shareholders, etc. Obviously, terrible situation in COVID for them. But LOT has said we're going to need more after almost $1 billion. About $1 billion. So the interesting thing for me is why we put this as number 9 is that companies like Wizz Air, private companies in the region, have not tapped in deeply into the state bailout funds, but through their shareholders primarily. So obviously LOT is a state-owned company, big drag on the government's resources. Interesting to see how they play out, but certainly an interesting story. Number 8, please. Number 8, please.
Air Liquide is continuing to develop its home healthcare business in Europe with the acquisition of Betamed SA, a major home healthcare provider. Betamed specializes in the care of patients with severe pathologies, either at home or in its specialized clinic in Chorzów in Silesia.
Yeah, so these guys, of course, it's a big acquisition for Air Liquide, French coming into Poland. They already have a big presence here, but this fills in some more of their spaces in the medical sector. But also, one of the things that Betamed does is the mechanical ventilation at home, i.e. COVID, so they're buying into this. Hopefully that will not suggest that we're going to have a lot more of that going on, hopefully less of it, but the acquisition might suggest that it's going to continue to go on for a long time. Anyway, nevertheless, it's a big purchase for Air Liquide, a great sale for Beata Brzazga and her family, who have cashed out at a pretty big number. We don't know the number, but it should be pretty healthy number. Okay, number 7, Magda.
PKP PLK announces huge logistics park connecting to China and Japan.
Yeah, so this is in Małaszewicze Logistics Park. It's planned to be the biggest transshipment hub in Europe. And they're going to be connecting to China, to Japan, to Korea. Big deal, so-called Silk Road connection to Asia. We all talk about the logistics problems and challenges right now going on. Big project, huge logistics park. We'll see how that plays out as well. Next story, number 6, Magda. Interesting one.
Jaeger pivots from interior design to vertical farming. Signed deal with Nettled for its Vera Compact vertical farming systems. Jaeger intends to use the Vera Compact vertical farming system to produce leafy greens and herbs at first.
I find this interesting for a couple of reasons. A, it's a great pivot from this company, has gone from being interior designer products. They've also developed some food companies, but now they are pivoting their strategy, changing their strategy, or adding on to it, diversifying. But also the whole vertical farming thing is interesting globally. I mean, growing up as opposed to using the horizontal earth. Very interesting. We'll see how that develops, but that might be part of the future. They're going to be growing lettuce vertically in their farms. Interesting story. Number 5, next one, Magda.
Idea's NCBIR our company, set up by the National Center for Research and Development, wants to focus on blockchain and AI technology.
And we put this as number 5 because it's simply another indication or endorsement of the importance of AI and blockchain. The Polish government putting more subsidies into it to continue the research and development. It's also trying to encourage the cooperation between technology or science parks or universities with real life applications. The AI applications around are absolutely enormous and never ending. So we'll watch this space a lot. Good to see the Polish government pushing and encouraging this space. I think Poland has a particularly strong advantage in AI because of its mathematics and its strong IT tech skills. So we'll watch that space closely. Number 4, Koreans.
Korean SKI technology has opened Europe's first lithium-ion battery separator plant and the company's first European production base.
Yeah, this is interesting because this is, of course, battery business big. The transition from the gas-fueled cars to electric cars. The whole storage issue is big. So the battery business is a huge thing. And we see lots of Koreans coming into the space. This is a big project for them. They've chosen Poland as the biggest factory there for Europe. Big deal. And they also underline how big it was because they had the president of the Exim Bank from Korea who came over for this. The ambassador of Poland to Korea was here, as well as the CEO of the whole company. So big deal. They brought out the big guns for the launch, and we'll see how that develops. Okay, number 3, Magda.
Time for some renewables news. The first one is
always big. I mean, the big thing, renewables, that transition. We've bunched in 3 stories into this one particular concept.
German sun farming gets financing to buy and build 20 megawatts Polish solar portfolio. Octopus Renewables buys 58.8 megawatts of wind farms. And P4, the operator of the Play network, has partnered with Respect Energy, a provider of renewable energy, to buy renewable certificates on large scale, covering 100% of Play's demand.
Yeah, so the summary is pretty clear. If you haven't gotten the memo, the Polish energy transition is in full swing, full motion, going forward. It has all the political cover it didn't have years ago. Wind is on, solar's on, coal is in retreat. So you have all the political energies pushing, and nuclear, we'll talk about how that's another story, but it's all coming, obviously a huge play and lots of different opportunities in business in Poland around the whole energy transition. Okay, next story, kind of energy too, but nuclear. Magda.
Westinghouse Nuclear Supplier Symposium brings in 200 businesses. These information sessions and one-on-one meetings provided in-depth opportunities for local suppliers to learn more about the Westinghouse AP1000 plant equipment and services, sourcing requirements, and supply chain opportunities in support of Poland's nuclear power program.
Yeah, so look, this is Westinghouse rolling out all of the PR to say, look, we're going to be building, we're going to be a secure partner, a safe partner on the nuclear build in Poland. It's a big thing. It's a part of the energy mix in Poland. Westinghouse taking lots of effort to say, look, A, it's safe, but secondly, there's huge opportunities. They're saying it's $1 billion spend around one of their particular nuclear power plants for the other suppliers in the region. And they're saying 600 to 800 jobs per plant after it's built. So they're making a big push to say, look, this is an ecosystem we're going to be building out. It's not just Westinghouse, but lots of companies coming. And I think having 200 businesses show up for their symposium is a pretty damn big sign that there's a lot of interest of other companies to get into this space as well. Okay, next one, number 1 story for the day, what we thought was most significant is...
Yeah, the hottest news is that Central Airport, the future Solidarność Airport, is buying up land for its big plans. So-called voluntary acquisition program is underway within an area of 74 square kilometers.
I love the name voluntary acquisition program, which means pretty quickly, it ain't going to be voluntary if you don't submit to it sometime down the road. So it's interesting, obviously huge project for the Central Airport in Poland. It's going forward. It's going to be a big deal. They're buying up all the land that it can get. and the process is moving. Lots of opportunities for businesses, lots of issues for distribution, lots of things going on around this space. That's why we chose it as number one. By the way, anyone listening to us, if you have suggestions of something that we missed, should be more important this week, let us know, or revise the order. Also let us know. We're curious to hear your feedback. So those are the top 10 stories for the week. Magda, thanks a lot for the day. Enjoy the week. We'll be back on next week for the next week's top 10 stories.
Yeah.
Enjoy the week.
You are totally right. Thank you for today, Tom, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Magda. Bye.